Episode 10, Mike. That's
banger.
Come on, bro.
Coming in big.
First double digits. And boom, we are live. What's up, everybody? Couple Casuals Podcast, episode number 10. I am your host, Stefano, and today I'm here with a very special guest, a good friend of mine. He is the first real doctor on this podcast. He was a big influence in my fitness journey. He's a chiropractor, and he knows a thing or two about a fucking thing or two. Ladies and gentlemen, my good friend, Dr. Michael Gross, a.k.a. Mike G, a.k.a. Big Mike. Let's go. Salute, brother.
Salute, brother.
Let's go. And I got to give a quick shout out to CandleHand in collaboration with CandleHand. Check them out at www.candlehand.com. Big Mikey, all the way from fucking Texas. Let's go, baby.
From the big town, brother. Flew in for this.
He flew in just for the pod, boys. Here, bring it in a little bit closer, though, Mike.
Bring it in a little closer.
Yeah, right there. Boom, Mikey. Cheers. Let's give one nice one salute.
Salute.
I would say let's chug it, but
let's do it. We'll do the first one.
Do the chug. Okay. Salute. And maybe I should put the Nothing Else Matters solo in the background.
Boom.
And speaking of Nothing Else Matters, check out the shirt I got on. Ladies and gentlemen, there's a little story behind this one. This shirt here is actually Mike's shirt from about 15 years ago. Mike was the friend where he'd give you a shirt and then he'd be such a good guy and he'd never ask for it back. And we're about 20 years deep now and I still got the fucker on, eh?
Easy, brother. No problem at all.
No problem at all. That's how we do it.
Nothing Else Matters is the song that we used to chug beers to when we were 15 years old.
You know what? This is the way it happened. So, like I said, he's a bit. Mike, you obviously know you're a big influence in my fitness journey. We were the guys that we never skipped class as young kids. We never did that. But there was one thing that we did do. When we have those assemblies, you remember those assemblies back in the day? We'd have to bring our blue chairs downstairs.
Oh yeah.
What we would do is we would ditch those chairs and we'd head over to the gym for a quick workout. That's what we would do. That was the kind of character that we had, and it kind of stuck with us throughout our lives. It was always fitness. Fitness was the foundation. Wouldn't you say so?
100%. It was always fitness. Even make it one level more. It wasn't just assemblies. This was mass. Sorry, God.
Yeah, sorry, God.
Gym didn't wait for anyone. We had to get those training hours in.
Yeah.
Because we're here to work harder. That's always what it was.
That's what it was. It was at the end of the day, and it started from there. How much? So before we even get into it, because we're going to talk. Mike is obviously a chiropractor. He's the first real doctor, as I said, on this podcast. He's wicked fucking smart. He's been around the block a couple times when it comes to, he knows a thing or two about fitness. He knows about health. He knows a lot about a lot. So we're going to get into a lot of good stuff today. But before we do, we want to talk about fitness quick, because we just made the reference about how we used to go over to the Maple Community Center and get our workouts in. Never skipped class, but the assemblies and the church, sorry, God. Son of the cross, sorry about that. We would skip and we'd go get a workout in. Mike, how much do you think fitness is important in the development of a young man or a young woman, whatever you want to call it?
Really, it's more important for anyone more today than it ever has been before.
And why do you think so?
It's just simply empowering. It teaches you the levels of discipline. You're more disciplined with your fitness. It gives you something you can work towards, objective measures. You get to see the reward of your hard work.
Boom.
Firsthand in your body and your mental capacity. You want to deal with stress. You want wellness. Nothing beats that personal fitness journey between you and yourself.
Right.
And you know what? It also is a bond. I don't know if you remember this.
Yeah.
We were in grade 10. What did we used to do every day in the summer?
That's what I was going to, we'd work out. And that's what I wanted to piggyback off that for a second, is the camaraderie and the relationships that you build through sports, right? It's underappreciated nowadays, wouldn't you say?
100%. It comes down to something as simple as, we used to play football, right? Football was our jam.
Football,
rugby, wrestling, whatever it is, boxing. There's something about, it's not about the games. Everyone thinks it was the game. You live for the game. No, it's that rent due during practice when you're there until 6 p.m. every day. You're tired. You don't have anything left, but you're with your brothers. You put in that extra work and that grit. It pays off come game day. Nowadays, everyone doesn't want to put in the extra work.
Right.
One of our mentors, Cameron Hayes, what does he say?
Yeah.
Nobody
Keep
cares.
hammering.
Nobody cares. Work harder.
Yeah, exactly.
Everyone wants to get a pat on the back for everything they do.
And I think, to be honest with you, brother, is that today society lacks that message. What do you think it is, bro? What do you think that is? Why?
Just started off, it had good intentions. There's the idea that you don't want to offend people. You don't want people to experience loss.
Right.
But I've learned, how many times did we cry losing a football game?
It's a part of it, but
it's you learn more from the winning. And if you take away the losing, there is no winning.
you need the winning, right?
You need the losing to
try
get
to come
that.
right
right
there.
in here.
Yeah,
you
perfect.
need the losing to get the winning. If you're not gonna experiencing that loss and working through it and realizing that, you know what, you're gonna get up tomorrow, you're gonna get back to work, pack your lunch, get back to the gym, go for your run, go do your weight work, go to practice. You get to show up again next week.
Yeah.
That's fundamental for setting you up for the future.
Exactly.
Not for what you're doing now.
And this is a big distinction that we need to make, guys, is like, to Mike's point there, how sports transfers directly into life, right? Everything you said right there, getting prepared for a loss or whatever, or getting up the next day and coming back from a loss, that's life, is it not? You're gonna meet adversities in your life. You're gonna meet shortcomings in your life. You're gonna get no a lot in your life, and we need to learn how to deal with that. And I think that sports is a fundamental pillar that's gonna be able to help us maneuver through it, right?
You develop the discipline. It's through discipline that you get freedom. As our Jocko Willink says, discipline equals freedom. You put in the hours, you pay your rent, you take care of business, and then you get to enjoy. You get to reap those rewards.
Right.
Nothing comes easy in this world, especially in the real world. People got to realize that you're going to experience a lot of loss. Like we all have, like I didn't get into the school I wanted to right away. I was the valedictorian. I didn't go right away. I took a second to figure out what I wanted to do. But you got to show up. You keep hammering. You keep doing the work. One of our best friends, James, what did he do? He took a little longer, did the work in med school right now. You accomplished those goals. A lot of people want to quit.
Yeah, they want to quit early before they have a chance to really see how it plays out, right? It's almost... It's effort and persistence. That's what I think it is. If you know what it is that you want to do, you need to stick with it. And that's why I think that sports and exercise and fitness are so fundamental in the development, especially of a young kid. I believe in that. Maybe not everybody believes in that, but look at the literature. I guarantee that it reflects, because when you look, you got to be able to learn how to deal with losses. You got to learn how to deal with ups and downs, structure, development, practice, everything to Mike's point earlier. It is fundamental and significant in the development of an individual. It's important. And to piggyback off what you were saying about school, Mike's a chiropractor. He's been fucking in school since ever, pretty much. Like, so take us through the past 15 years. Give us your credentials and everything that you've kind of done since we graduated pretty much high school. He's been in school pretty much his whole fucking life, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
Pretty much.
So I was basically, after high school, I was the valedictorian. I always had good grades, was a good student, whatever. Took a second to figure out what I wanted to do. Mm-hmm. So I did that. I didn't rush in. But a lot of people get pressured into rushing into making choices. Knew I wanted to pursue either fitness or something related to fitness. Went to Guelph. A lot of good times in Guelph. Amazing school. Met great people. Learned a lot from when it comes to needing to deal with adversity, dealing with school, just having to go to class, labs, juggling, going home to visit family. It's a lot. It's a lot. Having you guys come up was fantastic, amazing experience.
To break it up a bit, because at the end of the day, Mike, just to interrupt you for a second, is that not a lot of people are willing to go away for school.
No.
Not a lot of people are willing to sacrifice. I know I can be honest with you 100%. That would be a very, very difficult endeavor for myself. But I'm sure it was for you. But what did you do? You knew that the end goal at the end of the day was worth more than that uncomfortability in the immediate present.
100%. I knew it was the right choice. We went there. Me and you both were recruited for football at Guelph.
Right. Guelph. Fucking, what was the New Brunswick school again?
Oh, fuck. Oh, my God.
Mount Allison.
Mount Allison. Yeah, we were recruited there, too. Went to Guelph.
Which is worth mentioning. Me and Mike played fucking football together. And like we mentioned earlier, he was my fullback and I was the running back. So throw up some fucking footage of that real quick. Boom. Put that in there. Because fucking everybody was talking about the old boys here. I don't know how Joan is doing now with football. I don't know if the program's still around. But that's a story for another day. Let's continue. So you were in Guelph. You fired it up there to continue.
All right, so Guelph, human kinetics. Found my passion, did a research project working with stroke victims and neurological conditions. Realized, you know what? I don't want to work with athletes. I want to work with everyday people. I want to diagnose. I want to triage. I want to have that impact. Let's go to chiropractic school. You know what? Let's get a master's in nutrition too. Why? Because nutrition and health, you cannot separate physical injury, chronic pain from nutrition. There's several aspects to all of that. It goes biological, physical, psychological. You cannot separate the biopsychosocial model. Nutrition is fundamental to that recovery. Picked up a master's in nutrition first. Picked up my doctorate. won a bunch of awards there. Found a company that I was very fortunate to find.
So what's that time frame there? So from Guelph until, because outside of Guelph, you also moved. So Mike went to school in many different places, not just Canada, also in the States, also obviously outside, also in being Guelph, and then also you went in New York as well, on the outskirts of New York as well.
Upstate New York. So it went Guelph, upstate New York, to Texas.
Oh, back to Texas.
And so it's upstate New York, then to Buffalo, then to Texas.
Right. So you maneuvered many different places.
Yeah, and I was fortunate. My mom always taught me. My mom's the hardest worker in the room. She always taught me, seek out mentors, find people who are good at what they do. One of my mentors, she put me in line with the company that I work for right now, gave me that opportunity to pursue the career in Texas, which was amazing. But the thing with that also is you have to be willing to do something scary.
Mm-hmm. Now, moving away is
scary, bro. It's not easy.
How would you outline that experience for you? How it developed you as an individual?
When I moved to Guelph, I probably didn't sleep for the first 2 months.
Really, eh?
Yeah, stress, uncomfortable, different room, different environment, making new friends you don't know. I didn't know anyone.
Yeah.
So it's it's a different experience there. Then moving to New York, totally different. Once again, know no one. Not 100% confident of what I'm doing. It's taking a big risk. You're 21 now. 22, whatever.
Just
Life's difficult.
Young, man.
Yeah, bro. You have to figure out you're balancing. This is a big risk. It's a financial risk. It's a life risk. You're doing a lot of that. You just have to, with that pressure, knowing that you have a purpose and pursuing that. And then when you can accomplish some of your goals, it's so rewarding to a level that I can't explain.
And I like that word that you just said there, purpose, bro.
Yeah, you got to find your purpose.
You got to find your purpose. What would be advice to some people that are trying to find their purpose?
Don't be scared.
Well, that's good.
It's super scary out there, but you know what?
It is.
Nothing comes easy when you do it. You have to do something that's uncomfortable. You have to take a chance. Everyone here, we're very privileged to even be born in Canada. Yeah. We have the opportunity to take a risk.
And a lot of people, they don't understand the gratitude that we should be expressing for living in Canada. We live in an amazing country, brother.
The best in the world.
Yeah, we are as I don't want to even use the word privilege. We should be as grateful as humanly possible, because everybody else in the world, for the most part, tries to come to the West to live. But that's a conversation for a whole other day.
That's our starting point.
We need to understand that, right?
My mom came in a fucking boat.
Yeah, think about it. Our grandparents.
Yeah, my mom came in a boat. Yeah, your grandparents from the same area, Shoshana, they came in a boat.
Yeah, they came in a boat to come here to sacrifice, which is another big one, to sacrifice everything to then give us a better life. But then you learned a lot about yourself, and then you traveled around to get this education, and then you graduated. So what did you say your credentials were? Give your.
So I have a Doctor of Chiropractic. I have a Master's of Science in Clinical Nutrition and a Bachelor's of Science in Human Kinetics.
My buddy's wicked fucking smart.
We're gonna pick up a couple more along the way, because you know what, it never ends.
Yeah, because you always want to. You're the kind of guy that likes to stay on top of it and keep discipline.
It never ends.
And then now you're with the company that you're happy with and that you're enjoying. And how's the work life experience, and how's everything going right now?
It's that I found my purpose. Our mission statement for our company is to positively impact the lives of our patient. And for me, a big thing is you never want to be the best at what you're doing. I'm in an opportunity where it's the best of the best every day. I get to learn from the best of the best, from my mentors during training, from my business development manager, who is the best at going, never met a stranger in her life. She taught me so much about marketing and the business aspect.
Right, so you're getting different aspects of influence.
I learned from everyone, Steph. I'll learn from the janitor to the CEO of a company.
Which that's a good humble. Where do you get that from? Where do you think you get that from? Because that's a very it's a sense of humility to life, right? It's like I can learn from anybody. Treat everybody as if they know something you don't. That's the mentality.
And they do.
Where did you get that, bro? Where did that come from?
Just the way my parents raised me, bro. That's really what it is. My dad was very strict to that you never have an ego. You're no better than anyone in this world. And my mom is, like I said, she came from Italy, no education, worked her way up to top management in a big financial institution. There's no one else who's done that. Right. Everyone else in her field has PhDs, engineering degrees. Pina, what does she have? She came here on a boat, worked her way up. And you know what she says to me? Her most proud thing is not anything she's accomplished. It's the people she's hired and helped become presidents and CEOs.
Right.
It's not, because I read a really good book. Recommend this to anyone out here. There's two of them. Number one is The Go-Giver. And the second one is called It's Not About You.
Oh, okay.
Read that book.
Sounds interesting already.
Change your mindset on life. Your value is not what you make, it's what you give that's over and more so than what you make.
Which is 100% worth outlining as well, because a lot of people have this idea, Mike, is like people that are successful are in a room smoking a cigar somewhere laughing about how everybody else is not successful. They are. Majority of the time, I'm sure that happens, but the majority of the time, people that are successful, to Mike's point, are looking for somebody who's young or even just eager to be able to excel in whatever it is, the discipline that they're doing, to then give them that knowledge to be able to do that. Because to your point, that's exactly where the reward comes from, brother. Is it not? Like, 100%. I'm sure you've, through your time in Texas, which we're going to get into now, you've met a lot of mentors along the way, as you said, right? And you met a lot of mentors that you've been able to look up to, and then they've been eager to kind of give you that passageway through, right?
100%. And you know how you develop that relationship? It's actually rather simple. If you show up to work, school, whatever you do, and you're just there to do your job, there's no growth. Mm-hmm. You have to seek opportunity. Opportunity is not going to come land in your lap. You need to take on new projects. Could be in any field. Whatever you do, there's no limit. Take on some new work. Do something above and beyond everyone else. And you know what? People appreciate that. They respect it. They see it. And that'll pay it forward.
You know what I just thought about when you said that, Mike? Is remember, so me and Mike had a lot of part-time jobs together and stuff too. But every freaking, I'm not trying to brag or pry or anything, guys. But when we did something, we do it good, and there's many value in that too. So any part-time job that we'd have, like when we worked at Longos together, for example, we didn't fuck the dog.
No, not at all.
We did a good job.
We're sweating, working hard when we worked concert security. Brother, do you remember that? We were 18-year-old working concert security. We got pulled into the mosh pit by the
first day of work.
The first day of work, because these guys said, you two, let's see what you could do. And what did? We earned the respect of the bosses, and they brought us under their wing then.
Northwest Security, shout out. I wonder if they're still around, probably.
I hope my boy's still kicking, doing well.
Oh,
the massive
couple yoke boys over there.
Couple of fucking mooses.
Oh my God. But the importance and the significance around that is like when you do something, do it good. Because there's lessons in there, right?
Have pride.
A lot of the foundation that you have probably, and that I have throughout our life now, even as a young adult, you learn from these part-time jobs, because you're also finding out who you are too, right? Through these jobs and through these experiences that we have. Don't do any. Oh, this doesn't mean anything. I'm gonna do it half-assed. We didn't get raised that way.
No way. It's a bittersweet thing, because there is that ego you have to balance.
That's what I was gonna say.
You have to tame that beast, because you can end up hurting yourself and doing too much. But if you find that proper level, we're raised that you go in there, doesn't matter what you do it the best you can.
Yeah. Try.
I still quote the old wops we used to work with all the time. Mm-hmm. All the time. Cheap is expensive. What your uncle said. A wise man said you work as you eat. All those stories.
A wise man, this is a good one. A wise man once said is that you can always tell the way a man works by the way he eats.
Dude, look at like me and you, our relationship is special to me. It really is. Everything we did, it was always to the highest level.
Yeah.
Now that has pros and that
or
has
at least
cons.
we strived for it.
We did, bro. We left it always on the field. That is good and it is bad. But I would never change those experiences. That related to schooling, that related to sports, that related to our fitness journey, that also related to having fun.
Yeah.
Which we have some crazy experiences that a lot of people don't realize. But through that, we have a different perspective. Mm-hmm. And that perspective has given us, we've seen where we've been in trouble, where there's been fights or whatever, and maybe someone didn't have our back that we thought they would. And me and you, we had to deal with stuff on our own. You learn all about the world, that it's you got to do.
Most valuable experiences you can have.
You can't. No one will get that experience. We're abundance of it.
Yeah.
There's an abundance of that between me and you.
Yeah, there is. I know, and I appreciate the friendship just the same. Mike lives in Texas now, as we mentioned earlier. So we always. That's to your effort as well, Mike. You deserve credit there, because you do a great effort on keeping close with the people that you obviously respect and you have value for. So that's worth mentioning as well, because a lot of people, they don't do that. Effort is a big thing in this life, and you definitely put that forward. But life experience is something that we cannot put a price on. You can't put a price on that. And that's why the ups and downs, I don't regret anything. You can't ever regret anything, because you learn
from everything.
It's the lessons that you can extract from those experiences that you go through, whether it be good or bad, whatever it may be. You know what I mean? But just to kind of segue here into what's Texas like, brother? What's it like?
Texas it's unbelievable. It's right now, especially,
beautiful,
it's a beautiful area. The nicest people say Canadians are nice.
Yeah,
I have an argument for that. I say people from West Texas are the nicest people I've ever met in my life.
Really? Why would you say that?
Just the way
You got to stick up for the Canadians, Mike. It's in the
I
soul,
know
man.
it is in the soul, but they always assume they see me. They're like, "Oh, you're Canadian. You're gonna be so nice." I said, "You know what? You guys exceed that." Because everyone, they still have basic respects. People hold the door for you. Everyone's courteous.
Okay,
they're overly
beautiful.
thankful.
You think that's just Texas? Like if you think you went to California, it would be the same?
No, absolutely not. Bro, I went to school in New York. New York is not the same.
Okay, there you
New
go.
York is a totally
There you
different
go.
energy, different
There you
attitude. And Texas, stuff moves at a different speed.
Right.
Especially West Texas, a little different. It's a little more mellow.
Where you're situated right now.
We're in Lubbock, Texas. We're there because Anastasia, my wife, she
Which,
got
by the way, get a big salute.
salute to Anastasia.
Salute to Anastasia.
Biggest savage in the world.
They just got married. They did something that I admire. They got in the car, they drove over to Vegas, and they got married. So
Yeah.
we got to talk about that quickly too.
Well, you know, Anastasia. We've been together for 11 years. She's my best friend in the world.
Yeah.
I'm in Texas for her because of her. We built a life together.
You guys are both situated there in regards to work.
Oh yeah,
right?
100%. She's
Yeah.
a professor, and I have my position there as well. But she's the best, man. It's that simple. You know, there's an opportunity in life. I told her a long time ago, I'll follow her to the moon. We went to Lubbock, Texas.
That's beautiful
Not far
because
off.
I watched the live stream. There was a live stream for the wedding. I watched it, and that was in it. But we got to give a shout out to Miss Basciano.
Oh, absolutely.
I know she'll probably never watch this, but if you're watching this,
she'll find it.
you are an amazing teacher, and I think that teachers like you, we lack nowadays. I got to be honest with you. Which, Mike, I want to get your opinion on it. How important do you think a person like a teacher influence in a young kid's life like Miss Basciano was? Like, you know what I mean?
It's the mentor.
It is, right?
It's a mentor.
It's
above and beyond.
Teachers have teachers. I don't know if teachers understand this really, but they occupy a serious, significant position in society, man.
Huge.
Because they're a big influence on our young kids.
You can honestly, it's very simple. They can make or break your perspective on how you handle stress. If you did a bad grade, what are they going to make you? Is there remorse? How are you going to improve the situation? Miss Basciano went above and beyond. It was not just about. She taught religion, bro.
Yeah.
For the birds.
Yeah.
Anyone can teach that.
But her as an individual,
and
though.
Above and beyond, you'll never find someone more passionate about improving the lives of their students.
And that's the thing around teachers, guys, is that they occupy this position that has so much significance because they are such an influence to young students. Young kids, when you're in high school and you're 15, 16, 17, what the fuck do you know? You know full call. But you get a teacher like Miss Basciano who is seriously considerate about how you feel, about your mind, your trajectory in life.
She saw something.
She took time.
She sees something better in you.
Yeah.
She always expects a little bit more. And honestly, she called when me and Anastasia were in religion.
And she hooked you guys
class,
up, right?
She said, "You're gonna end up with Anastasia too."
Yeah.
I swear, she said that.
Which I was always under the
Haunting.
I was under the influence that she always she kind of hooked you guys up. She played matchmaker a
She
bit.
tried to make us sit beside each other in class. I'm not even kidding. She did.
I fucking love that.
She
man.
did. She made us sit beside each other in class. Nowadays, people are going to get offended. That's way beyond teacher's scope.
I know.
But that's how much she's just a really special person.
But she was a great influence on us, and I think teachers have a big significance in the influence and the development of a student. But not to get too sidetracked about Texas. Let's compare. Let's talk about Texas again. Texas and Canada in comparison. How would you say?
It's like going back in time 5 years.
Because now you're in Canada. It's
Yeah.
fucking cold. It's fucking cold. I'll tell you that for free. That's one thing that we can say for sure. But in comparison, in like the quality of living, the opportunities, everything, what would you say?
Number one, opportunities in Texas are unmatched anywhere in the world right now.
And why would you say that?
Cost of living is essentially 1/20th of what it is in the GTA.
Mm-hmm.
It's
that's for
a
sure.
growing economy, booming housing industry. It's literally you could buy a house for $128,000, like a nice
And a
house.
beautiful house,
beautiful
right?
home. Yeah.
What do you think that is? You think it's like just a gold mine in a sense? Like what is it? Is it the leadership? What is it, man?
Texas. It's Texas. You have to go to Texas to understand it. Texas does not identify as the United States. Texas
Right,
is
which
Texas.
is worth mentioning, guys, is that the United States runs in the states run independent.
Yeah, it's
to
not like here at all.
The country,
It's not
right?
here at all.
So the rules and the restrictions or whatever it is that's within the states are different than the actual country, right?
Yeah, 100%. Like it's if you go to Texas to Nevada to California, you're dealing with completely different perspectives on life, ruling, taxing, everything changes. Texas it's old school. Texas is pack your lunch. It's up to you.
Pack your lunch. Mike's got the good one, man.
There's great opportunity. You got to go to work though.
Yeah,
There's nothing free in Texas.
Yeah.
Nothing is free.
no free lunches, brother.
No, there's no free lunches in Texas, but the buffet's open. If you're willing to get up and move and go get what you need, It's there in Texas.
You got to put in the work,
But
though.
it's not like all these people say, like when COVID started, we're going to move to Florida, we're going to move to Texas.
Yeah, everybody's...
It's not how the world works. They talk is cheap.
Yeah.
You need to get a work visa. When you move there, you need to change your title of your car. There's a lot of stuff. Try to get a work visa is not easy.
Which you drove over to Texas.
I drove from Toronto to
How
Texas.
was that? How was that, by the way?
It was insane, brother. By myself, 3 days. I didn't even, at that time, because of COVID,
Yeah.
the government wasn't sure they were going to process my work visa in time. So I drove to Texas, no guarantee I was going to have a job. Anastasia couldn't even come yet because her work visa didn't start till 3 months later. So
that's right. You were
I
there,
was in,
you were
I
there
was
solo.
in Texas, fucking doing nothing for 2 to 3 months, waiting for stuff to happen. How do you know, like, really easy to quit.
Yeah.
Really easy to quit. Fuck this, I'm going home. I'll
So-
just get a job at home. You know what I mean?
So let's talk. Let's unpack that even a little bit further because I think this can be useful for people. So do you know that feeling of like when you feel like you want to quit?
Yeah.
What do you do? How do you give advice to people of being when they're in those situations? What do you do? Would you go into the cookie jar as our buddy Davi gave you Goggins say? Do you unpack a layer further? Do you reflect on the reason why you're there anyways? What do you do? What's the thought process behind Dr. Michael Gross when you feel like, fuck, I want to quit right now?
When you feel like you want to quit, that's when you do. You know what you do? You brutalize the body and you meditate the mind. So I would go for a long run. I'd get a really good workout in, and I'd read some daily Stoic, some Stoic reflections, meditate, journal, figure it out, reflect, think about what I'm trying to accomplish. It wasn't about, once again, it comes back to it's not about me. The move to Texas was not for me. It was to support Anastasia because she had an amazing opportunity. How selfish would I be?
Yeah, that's very selfless of you.
Yeah,
you
can't.
to do that.
But it's a lot of kids, they're very spoiled. They never experience loss. You know what taught me to handle that kind of stuff?
What?
Losing in those football games. We lose a playoff game, cry my eyes out, feel like shit for weeks. I've been there before. I know what to do. You show up the next day, you go to work, you control if it's not in your control, you can't worry about it. That's Stoic 101.
That's Stoic
That's
101.
Marcus Aurelius is from Meditations.
Buddy, that is only focus on the internal, not the external.
Yeah, you can't control it. Don't lose sleep over it. It's not going to change anything about it.
Exactly.
You got to focus on what you can control. What can I control? You know what I did? I studied more.
Yeah.
And then when I went to training, I impressed my training doctors. And you know what that did? That gave me an opportunity to become a leadership doctor for my company 6 months in.
Turning a negative into a positive. And by the way, guys, the daily Stoic that I always talk about has come from my buddy, Dr. Michael Gross over here. He's the one who showed me that. And I think it's worth every single penny to look into that because that in itself, that message there that he just said is focus on. It's very useful in a time like now. We're facing a lot of restrictions. We're facing a lot of implications on what we can do, what we can't do, all these different things. People are divided, but we need to focus on what we can control because that's going to make people's lives a lot better, is it not?
100%. You focus on improving things that you can control. Your nutrition, your workout regimen, and it doesn't have to be crazy.
No, it doesn't have to be crazy.
Go for walks.
Talk about that for a second. Let's say somebody wants to start, obviously exercising being a big component to defending yourself against any illness and outside of COVID. Starting up, a new person wants to start. What's a good recommendation? Because I know diet and exercise comes in a lot, but what would you recommend? Like finding your 100%,
You start easy.
Start
you
easy.
Chip away.
Don't overwhelm yourself.
Yeah, because here's motivation fades. It's very easy to go on an aggressive diet, lose 20 pounds, then you fall back to your patterns. You know what? If you're someone who goes out to eat McDonald's 3 times a week, drop it down to 2, go for 3 walks a day, 2 walks a day.
So you're not even saying stop it completely.
No, do not stop it completely. That is setting you up for failure. A lot of what I learned in my master's in nutrition is the idea of motivational interviewing, and there's a lot of psychological components to it. You have to be patient. Easy off, easy on. It'll come back. If you're patient and disciplined, chip away at it. You show up every day, you do a little bit better every day instead of trying to rip the Band-Aid off. That never works.
Incremental improvements are worth a lot.
100%.
Yeah.
And it doesn't have to be crazy. It doesn't have to be crazy. Drink more water, go for walks, little things like that. I can give you a prime example. I had a patient, guys, 70 years old, has horrible headaches. He's depressed. After he retired, has no purpose in life anymore.
How old is he?
70 years old, he retired, used to work 7 days a week.
Which, Mike, you believe it's very common, eh? People that retire, they just don't know what to do anymore.
Bro, terrible migraines. Now, what I do is I diagnose, assess, do manual therapy, and we prescribe rehab.
Right.
You know what I did for his rehab?
What?
His rehab was to go for 3 walks a day.
Nice. How long?
10 minutes. That's it.
That's 30 minutes exercise a day, which there is plenty of research to back that up.
Get out in the sun. Go out into nature. Get out. He was sitting. He doesn't even watch TV. He would just sit in a chair all day.
Yeah, it's gonna be a big contributor.
Lost his purpose. Let's find a purpose. You know what? Even if it's something simple, going for a walk, join a community, a walking club, a running club, something like that. I also have big advice for people if they're having a tough time transitioning to, okay, gyms are closed, I don't know what to do. Sign up for a race.
Yeah. Well, if they're available, because they're not here. They're not here.
That's true. But you got to give yourself something to work towards.
But there's a road out there.
There's a road. There's you in a road. Find what you enjoy and try to just do it. And then small changes yield big results.
Oh, man.
I like to explain like this. If you take 1 millimeter to the right and we walk 10 kilometers, you'll end up in Mars compared to where we are straight.
Mm-hmm.
But if you try to take veer, you're going to fall off the edge of the table. You'll never make it.
Mm-hmm.
So make a little change, be consistent. Consistency always trumps everything.
God. Yeah, exactly. Because you can go hard as fuck for the first month. But then you get overwhelmed and you're like, fuck that, I'm not doing that anymore. But just to stay on Chiro for a second there, you know what I noticed a lot about these disciplines like being a chiropractor, being a physiotherapist, is a lot of it is intertwined with also like you're giving people kind of coaching, you're giving them life advice, you're giving them mental advice. You know, to the point right there, you said find your purpose. So a lot of the life experience is going to play into your quality of work, is it not?
Steph, my first 5 minutes with any patient is explaining that I'm not the answer to their problems.
Right. That's good. Wow. That's amazing, man.
I like to say that I'm the jumper cables. What do you do after you jump a car? You got to run that sucker for at least an hour or else it's going to die again. Mm-hmm. So I can help move you in the right direction. I can help motivate you. First thing I do is there's number one most important thing when you're dealing with anyone. Chronic pain, acute injury, whatever. Fear avoidance is the number one positive predictive factor for transitioning from acute pain to chronic pain. Chronic pain has a lot of neurological changes that complicate the situation.
Chronic pain is like extreme pain?
Chronic pain is you've had pain for more than 6 months duration, for example. But there is actually changes in your central nervous system, in your spinal cord, the way that they... So what happens is essentially stuff that doesn't usually register as pain, movement, for example, will start registering as pain. And that fear avoidance is the number one predictive factor to move to that area. So my number one job is to tell you, you're not broken.
Right. We can fix this.
I can't fix it. You can fix it.
This. Okay.
I'm the jumper cablers. I can help you we'll jumpstart this. We'll move you in the right direction. I'm going to help give you the tools to manage this. Where I work, and this is what I love more than anything, because a lot of chiropractors don't do this. We see people 3 times.
3 times only?
Average of 3 point. If we need to see them more, we will. But an average and over 1 million cases handled.
That's refreshing because visits. A lot of the time, like they'll say, "Oh, we got to sign you up for 6 weeks." You know, not all of them, but some, right?
Most of them. Yeah. Most of them do. And you know what they do when you come in? Ooh, this looks really bad. Oh, that you know what?
I've had experiences like that.
Oh, you know what? This looks like it could be a disc thing.
Yeah.
First thing I do is if I determine from the examination of the history that it's not an active neurological issue, is listen, we're taking the scary stuff off the table. Mm-hmm. Now, with that being said, I caught cancer in a kid 1 month into practice.
Oh yeah, tell us about that because I remember you telling me that story.
1 month into practice.
Yeah.
There's a rule of thumb when it comes to any type of musculoskeletal conditions is it needs to be recreated biomechanically. So when you change positions, it either has to make that injury worse or there should be a position that makes it better. Night pain's a red flag. There's red flags you learn in school. Mm-hmm. All these red flags came up, sent them for imaging, came back. I had to give that information to the parents.
How was that experience?
That you want to be a doctor?
Yeah.
That's what being a doctor is. That's one of the hardest conversations I've ever had in my life.
What kind of cancer was it?
You have a radiology report, and it says on that radiology report that it's potentially they need further testing, they need biopsy because malignant cancer is top of the list of their risk factors.
So there was a big red flag.
It's you have to have those conversations. That's your due diligence. A lot of people they'll fluff that stuff.
Yeah, so communication is a pillar, is a fundamental movement to be able to do this job properly.
Everything I say with patients is, I don't focus on pain.
Right.
Because you know what? You don't want to chase pain. That's a bad business to be in.
Okay.
That's when you become the McDonald's, like chiropractic or physical therapy. You see people forever. I go, what can't you do right now that you want to do again? I need to know what we're trying to accomplish.
Yeah, so if they come to you and they're a runner, but they're having SI pain.
I never tell someone not to run. Yeah. What we do is I helped you with some of that.
Yeah.
I gave you some stretches and exercises to do. Yeah. I don't tell someone to stop doing what they want to do.
Yeah. Which is a big thing, man. Because I went to one chiropractor and she asked me literally why are you doing that? I'm like, what do you mean? Why am I doing
insane.
that?
That's insane. They don't get it.
Just like anything, there's bad teachers.
You gotta practice what you preach.
Yeah.
You gotta practice what you preach. And you know what? If that's their goal, we're gonna modify it, find a way to let them accomplish that goal. Maybe we turn down the pace a little bit, we go a little bit longer, or we trim some miles and we go a little bit faster,
There you
harder,
go.
shorter.
Adapting, right?
And we look at what's functionally wrong. What can we address immediately to get them back to doing what they need to do? And most important is teaching them how to own it.
Mm-hmm. To be able to be comfortable and be willing to confront that. Yeah, I'm having this problem, but I'm gonna be able to maneuver through it.
Yeah, and do X, Y, and Z.
Yeah.
You do your stretches, you use your lacrosse ball, whatever you got to do, and you're gonna start getting better.
But there's work involved.
Oh, you got to do the
The
work.
patient has the work.
Oh no, they got to do the work.
Which is to your point of what you said about how you just give them that full disclosure right away.
Yeah, right away. I let them know right away. I say, listen, you got to do your homework. This is what I expect. I think I'm going to see you 3 to 4 times, and you're going to be better.
Yeah, because a lot of time nowadays, especially to what we were saying earlier, is that a lot of people are looking for the quick fix, eh?
Yeah,
They're looking for the quick fix.
There's a quick fix, but you have to maintain that. Mm-hmm. That's the thing, right?
There's work involved, guys. That's what it is essentially.
There's nothing in this world is free. You got to do the work. You got to own it.
And now, in regards to would you recommend that even if a person doesn't have an injury, let's say, but to just come in for maintenance work as well, just for alignment and stuff like that? What do you think about that?
I'm not big on alignment.
Yeah.
My deal is this.
That's refreshing, Mike, because there's a lot of, maybe I was wrong, but I feel like a lot of the time, like the chiros that I've experienced were big on it. It was very.
They're trying to make money. That's the reality, right?
Because they ask how much your benefits, this and that. But yeah, it seems you're obviously interested in the individual and their progress and what it is that they're trying to do.
It's more about the goals. What do they want to accomplish? What are they trying to get back to doing? I do not do wellness care. You can't come see me. I cannot charge you for wellness care. That's in my contract. I cannot do that.
What's wellness care?
So that would be like for alignment or sports improvement. Mm-hmm. I legally cannot do that.
Mm-hmm. So you're interested in injuries that we're trying to resolve.
We fix pain fast. We get back to it right away.
Right.
There has to be an injury. If there's not an injury, if you want wellness care, I can send you to someone that does that. It's not what I do. Mm-hmm. I don't do wellness care.
Man, Mike, keep that up because that's fucking important. You're the blunt and honest and forward, and it's a refreshing because not a lot of people are like that now. Now, in regards to physio and chiro, how would you compare the two, physio and chiro?
I mean, there's in Canada it's a little different because there's not as many DPT programs, but essentially the difference is you get a doctorate with your chiropractic, which means that you have the right to diagnose and the responsibility to diagnose.
You have the right to diagnose and the responsibility to diagnose. Okay, so you can actually diagnose the issue conclusively.
Yeah, no one needs a referral to see me.
Oh, okay.
That's me. I make the diagnosis at that time. That does come with responsibility. Say, for example, you miss.
You can misdiagnose.
You can miss cancer. You can miss a lot of scary stuff. There's a lot of things. There's a responsibility with that. That's why the program's a little longer. You have to be well versed in radiology, understanding how to read X-rays, MRIs. You have the responsibility. There's a malpractice insurance associated with that, and you're liable if you misdiagnose or you fail to recognize that someone's not improving with care and they need to go somewhere else.
So that would be the significant difference between the two.
Pretty much. Other than that, like they blend really well. Like here's the biggest difference too. Like what I do is I'm not dealing with post-surgical stuff. Like I'm not going to do your rehab after a knee surgery.
Okay,
that's not my sandbox.
So your initial, like right away.
So for me, you get hurt, I'll assess you. I determine if you're a good candidate for care. If not, I send you to where you got to go. I had someone come in with they blew their ACL out. I knew right away they blew their ACL out. You're going to the emergency room. You're not in my office.
Yeah, they got to get it fixed. Obviously.
Yeah, you got to get it fixed. Yeah. What I am is my role as a chiropractor is dealing with musculoskeletal conditions that are not. If it's not fractured, it's not dislocated. You can come play with me. Mm-hmm. But if you're recovering from a surgery or whatever, that's when you go to your PT. That's when they have that relationship with their primaries. That's not my world.
Right.
My world is acute injury, chronic injury that's not going away. Now you're in my sandbox. Mm-hmm. You got some lumbar radiculopathy, cervical stuff. You got extremity. You sprained your ankles. What I learned how to fix sprained ankles.
Why do the ankles fucking sprain so easy, bro?
Dude,
holy shit!
I can give you a really quick explanation for this. So
yeah, go for it.
When you have an ankle sprain, 3 things need to happen. You need to get dorsiflexion back. Dorsiflexion is the ability to lift your ankle up. That is range of motion.
Yeah, what you gave me, actually, that's what I did when I was testing out my patellar tendon issue.
Number 2, you need to be able to evert your foot. You need to get the peroneal tendons. That's what those muscles do. They're injured often with inversion ankle sprains. And number 3 is you need to get proprioception. If you do not do all 3 of those components, you're prone to re-injury.
Because fucking ankle injuries seem to be so frequent for people, especially soccer players.
Brother, I've had patients come in black and blue on crutches. Now, if they need an x-ray, I send them for an x-ray. There's a criteria for that.
Right, of course.
If they come in, they already have their x-ray cleared, I'm not kidding. I had a patient. He was playing basketball. Brutal. Came in on crutches.
Basketball's the worst for injuries.
Came in with crutches and a boot. He walked out of the clinic, played basketball the next day.
No.
I swear to God.
How did that happen?
It's the sauce.
It's the sauce, eh?
Once you learn the
magician
mechanism,
never gives his tricks.
No, once you know the mechanism, you can do some really cool things with that stuff. It's fascial distortion type stuff. It's
Okay.
certain philosophy. It works incredible, and there's nothing like that in Canada.
There's not why it can't. So the medical treatment within Canada and the U.S. would be a significant difference.
Well, for the management of an acute ankle sprain, yeah, it's not really prevalent here. You'd have a hard time finding those practitioners.
Okay, so sometimes it can be different. Now
that's why you travel and you learn from people who are better than you.
Man,
you learn from people who are better than you, and you can accomplish some really cool things.
Like you deserve respect, Mike, for being able to do that, because a lot of people would not be able to sacrifice. Like you moved away when you were 20, man. What were you, 21? No, it's really. How old are you?
I moved away when I was 18 to Guelph.
Well, we did one victory lap, and we fucking absolutely destroyed in football. Beat Markham, the Metro Bowl champions. We did a couple good things there. And then you went, so 19.
Yeah, 19. Went to Guelph, yeah.
19, you went to
Guelph.
So now it's 10 years.
10 years, yeah.
It's 10 years.
3 degrees later.
What were some of what would you say, like the motif, the biggest lesson throughout?
Biggest lesson throughout education is, once again, it's just find people who are better than you and learn from them. Don't let your ego get in the way. Don't have a pissing contest. It's not about a pissing contest. It's about rising tide raises all ships. Find a good crew of people. Honestly, for me, more than anything, is the friends I made. I've made fantastic friends in Guelph, friends for life, fantastic friends in Newark Chiropractic College, friends for life, and now friends in Texas that are friends for life.
So that'd be a good piece of advice to people who are going away right now or are thinking about going away for school.
I think if you have the opportunity, if you're a high school kid, and you're juggling, do I go away or do I stay? Go away.
And guys, not to mention, like a lot of these podcasts ended up being somewhat motivational. To be honest with you, when I first made this podcast, I thought I was going to make fart jokes the whole time and dick jokes. You know what I mean? But this is being real, and I feel this is useful to a lot of people. And Mike brings a lot to the table when it comes to this thing. So follow him on Instagram at Michael Gross. Follow him. I always campaign, Mike. You gotta get the Chiro Instagram going, because people are in the market for those chirocracks, man. People love the chirocracks.
It's absurd. People love it. I'm more from him. If I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna go educational.
You're gonna go educational, yeah.
No fluff.
No fluff. No bullshit. Mike's wicked smart, but we'll segue into the final segment of Couple Casual Podcast, which is called Salute. Salute is the last segment on Couple Casuals Podcast. I give an opportunity to the guest today, my good buddy, my good influence through my fitness career. Like respect where respect is due, Mike. I built this chest because of my good buddy Mike over here. The NO shotgun, the creatine, all this shit.
Listen,
and the hard work.
Tell the quick story about how I sold my Nintendo Wii to buy NO shotgun that last 1 month.
NO shotgun was a pre-workout, guys. If a lot of people didn't know this, back then we had pre-workouts. Now we drink espresso.
Yeah, we drink Spros.
That's what we drink.
For the bros.
We drink espresso, but back then we didn't have money, okay? Like the kids nowadays. We didn't have money. Mike sold his fucking Nintendo Wii to buy NO shotgun.
Ultimate meathead move. One for the books.
But you know what? It paid off because we're still doing it. And that's another thing worth mentioning is that this is for life, guys. Yeah. Find a way to implement it in your lifestyle and get it done, because it's going to serve you well, especially when we're combating situations like we're in right now where you're vulnerable. Build your immune system and do these kind of things. Take vitamin C, take vitamin D, and every once in a while have a fucking couple casuals. But just to end us off, Mike, give us a nice salute, the final segment here, whatever you want to say, a cheers, whatever, brother.
If I'm going to give a salute, I got to give it out to my brothers who are always there for me, Steph, you've been my best friend since we were 12.
Yeah.
So I appreciate, look out for your family and take care of everyone, and nobody cares, just keep working harder.
Nobody cares, just keep fucking working harder.
Working harder.
Cheers, brother.
Salute.
Thank you guys for joining. I appreciate you. Don't forget to like and subscribe. I love nobody else. Until next time, salute.